Hello, everybody. It's Margaret. Welcome to my channel, Texas Gal Treasures. And today we got some merch talk. We're going to hang out and talk merch stuff. And if you haven't watched before, we used to do a weekly show called Merch Talk with me and Nick and Jeff and Chris and Joe, who are not here today. Well, y'all introduce yourselves and then we'll dive into stuff.
It's hard for me.
The longer beard goes first.
Longer beard goes first. All right.
Wait, let's see if I can make you big. Can I make you big? No, never mind. I'm not going to try. Go ahead.
I'm Jeff. I do pods, merch, Teespring, Redbubble. I sell my own products on eBay, Amazon, my own website, and I do a tiny bit of reselling. And like everyone here, it's time to revisit pods and beef them up again. There goes my camera. That's my desk. That's my desk there.
It's the ghost children jumping in.
Right.
Joe's in the house.
So yeah, let's go on over to the shorter beard, Margaret.
Oh wow. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Nick Eden. I am a YouTuber, also run a podcast called Morning Cup of Merch, formerly the 4554 podcast. I sell on merch by Amazon, Etsy, Redbubble, TeePublic, Teespring, and almost everything else that has a T in its name. And I am glad to be back with the Merch Talk crew.
Yes.
Woo-hoo! And you guys maybe know me. I'm Margaret. This is my channel. Yeah. I wanted to do this one because I've been watching. If you don't follow these guys on Instagram, do that. Cost Frog is Jeff and Nick is at Nick Eden, right? I'll drop the Instagram. I put our other links down below, but I'll put our Instagram ones. But I was watching some of Nick's because you're doing a series right now. It's what's it called? 30-day challenge to Q4.
Yeah, it's the Q4 30-day challenge. So every day I'll be dropping a video with just a quick update on the things that I'm doing about Q4 and just getting prepared. And really it's Q4 and Q1, but but every day it's just a challenge to kind of keep everybody and myself accountable. I really do it to keep myself accountable and just you guys just get a peek into my crazy head.
Are we not already in Q4 though?
Are we? No, we're not. You're dreaming we're in October already.
Right.
I thought Q4 started. I'm sorry. I thought Q4 started in September for some reason.
Last 3 months.
So is that on YouTube or Rumble?
No.
Or what?
This one is on Instagram. So Instagram at Nick Eden. It's like I said, every day of September we're gonna have a video, and it's like sometimes it's a minute, sometimes it's 3 minutes. You guys know I'm used to doing the shorter vids, so it just made a little bit more sense. My engagement is a little bit more up for content like that on Instagram, so I'm just gonna keep it there, and be like accountability partners.
If I follow you or not, Nick.
I don't think you do.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
It got me thinking because I've been kind of lax on my print-on-demand stuff. I probably haven't uploaded anything in almost 6 months, maybe more. And even then, it was just a few things. But I thought this would be a good time to come on because I know I have some friends that are trying to get started with it. And that way, if friends are wanting to start, or like I've been so out of it, I'm sure things have changed. I need to double check that I'm still doing things the right way because everything changes all the time, right? So I thought
yeah. Speaking of that, I did thank you for getting me looking at it. And also got an email from Printful. I found out I use a domain website for affiliate links to make them prettier and simple. And I found out my domain was not pointing to the website properly. And I don't know how long it's been that way, but I got that all fixed now. So all my affiliate links now work. So I don't know how much I lost on that.
Probably a good chunk.
Yeah.
I had a friend message and just say, what is print on demand? So we're starting at that level. So what is print on demand?
You can do it yourself, but it's usually you're using a service to print a product when it's ordered rather than having to order a stock of 200 or 500 t-shirts or whatever and store them wherever. So you don't have, there's no there's no work on your part. That's the great part, is you just sell the product, and then whoever you're using prints it, ships it, and you get the money.
Right.
And a great thing about it is there are some websites that you can use that have their own organic traffic, like Amazon, like Etsy, like Redbubble, and then there are ones like Teespring, and if you do your own WooCommerce or Shopify site where you actually drive the traffic. So there's no one way to do print on demand, right? And I mean, even to a larger extent, if you wanted to be more involved with the work side of it, there are some people that would consider vinyl and heat press as being print on demand, which it is. As people buy it, then you make the shirt. The model that we primarily use, though, is that the sites that we partner with, the fulfillment companies we partner with, they handle all of that, and then we just focus on the design, the keywording, and the marketing of it.
Yeah, I actually have a heat press in the cabinet. I finally put it down in the cabinet. It used to sit up here next to my plotter because I stopped using it. It's too much work. And I know people that do that. A good friend of mine in Idaho has a shop that sells locally, and they do live parties on Facebook where they say, "Hey, only 3 of these left," or whatever, and then they print them and everything, and it's just a lot of work, and I just don't see it.
Yeah.
Or some people still do, what do you call it, screen printing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a neighbor down the street that does that in his garage. I can see him out there doing it. It's a lot of work. So print on demand using a fulfillment partner is the way to go.
Yeah, I think if I was going to do screen printing, I'd probably not focus on selling my own shirts and more so provide for other people who need shirts done. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I think it's printing one color at a time, letting it dry in between. It's old school.
So do you know at this point, if you go to sign up for Merch by Amazon, do they still have like the wait period? Do you still have to upload like where you are selling stuff? What's the application process like now?
Funny you say that. I have a friend of mine, one of which is actually in the comment section, Morgan TV, who just recently got into merch as well as KDP. But so the shorter beard. But yeah, so the good thing about it is it's not as long as it used to be. The process itself is about 2 weeks with Merch by Amazon, but it is still invite only. Right. I mean, we came from a time where you were waiting 4 or 5 months to get in. But essentially now it's about a 2-week process. You still have to fill out everything, all of your tax info, who you are, what type of business you are, and then what essentially a link to your work and what can you bring to the platform. So it's still there. I will say that there's a really distinct difference now, particularly with Merch by Amazon. Instead of before, when they started you off in the 10 tier, which you still get started off in the 10 tier, it's no longer going by these are the products. This is more so this is the design. So it's not, okay, I did one design and I put it on standard premium hoodie, sweatshirt, and those count as 4 spots. Now that's one design, right? So it gives you, especially for beginning sellers, it gives them a lot better options than they had before.
So if you were, because let's say I'm going to tell a friend about this, like, what would you suggest, like, to get some of their work up, like on like another platform, like Printful, or would you go like Redbubble, something to tag in whenever Amazon's asking for, like, let's see your work? What would you suggest that they start with, or somebody else that's out there wanting to start?
I don't know about Jeff. I would probably start with either Etsy or Redbubble.
Yeah.
Largely because I think the biggest thing is it's a good thing to start your own site eventually. I think that is something that you eventually want to get into, but you do want to make sure that you know what you're doing, right? And most people who are just getting into this have no idea how to design, never heard of print on demand before, or at the very least they have no idea how to drive traffic, which is usually the hardest part. So going to a platform that already has traffic, because I say it all the time on the channel, I know people who sell on Redbubble and Etsy and they don't even touch merch. right?
Yeah.
If I had to say one or the other, I would probably say Redbubble, because the system itself is a little bit closer to what merch is. With
Mm,
Etsy, you have to do the Printful integration. Every time somebody purchases a shirt or another product, it charges your card and then it's done. There's the
right.
customer service aspect of it. So if you're not used to the customer service, if you're not used to fulfillment, and if you're like kind of cash poor on it, it might make better sense to start somewhere like Redbubble, where they take care of everything once somebody makes a sale.
That's true.
I agree with the later part.
You say what?
You know, I was gonna say I agree with Nick on the later part. If you're just
Yeah.
starting out, it's probably good to go with Teespring or Redbubble, something that handles everything and just sends you the money, so you don't have to put out cash right away. Because that is something with Printful, they do charge you. You know, once the item is sold, they're going to charge you. Plus, like you said, there's the integration factor. You're setting up two sites, you know, Etsy and Printful.
Mhm.
And so there's a lot more work there. And not to say you can't do it first off.
Right.
It's not that difficult.
Right. And especially if you're like, I don't have the money to start, because that's another thing I was going to ask about. Like, somebody who doesn't have money up front to start it. I was like, you can do this without money up front.
Yeah, but I'll take my mind's a mush. A caveat on that is you don't need hundreds of dollars to start, even with Printful and Etsy. I mean, Etsy, you can open your store for free. And you do your listings, they're going to charge you what, 10, 15 cents per listing.
I have a link down below for Nick's. If you sign up through Etsy with Nick's link down below, you get 20 free, or is it 40 free?
20 free.
20
and then,
yeah.
Well, yeah, see, that's when I'm thinking with Etsy, you make the sale, Etsy's going to keep that money. So you don't see that money yet, but Printful is going to charge you, say for their Gildan shirt, is their cheapest shirt, $12.95. So that's coming out of your PayPal or bank account, and you'll get that money back once Etsy pays you. And I don't know what Etsy's pay schedule is right now, and if you have your own website, you don't have to worry about that, because it's the customer's money is going directly to your PayPal. Say you charge $20 for that shirt, and then Printful is going to take their $12.95 of that out. So it's not like you have to have hundreds of dollars. If you're doing Etsy, you have to have, say, $50 in your bank account to cover a couple T-shirts until payday.
Right. But if you don't have that, because I know some people are like, they don't even have that to start, then Redbubble would be the way. Because I didn't think about that, because I'm like, I just love Etsy and Printful, and I do better, like, as far as merch is number one, Amazon, that is, and then number two is my Etsy Printful, and then Redbubble's from there, as far as
and while we're talking about Printful, Printful and eBay is the easiest integration, but Printful also integrates with Amazon. Printful Etsy is the easiest, but Printful also integrates with Amazon, which is a little bit more difficult because it just takes so long. And
I remember your starting journey with that.
Yeah, it's still taking hours. It seems. If I refresh, it's a little bit quicker, and it also integrates with eBay, which is really easy. You just got to make sure you have enough your listing cap, because each size and color variation is going to count as a listing. So one shirt can count as math. A lot of listings, we'll say 40 listings. So just make sure you have enough available.
Yeah.
But it does work.
If you were going to start, like, you're really trying to gear up so you can get your application in for merch by Amazon, how many designs do you think you would put on your Redbubble shop? Or would you one design just on a bunch of stuff, or would you want to show a certain number of different designs? What would you recommend?
I'm
looking out for information today.
I would personally have 10 to a dozen designs up. T-shirts.
Unique designs.
They're looking for. Yeah, they're looking for a variety of design. You just put one up, it doesn't show you have a lot of products or potential.
Cute.
Finds of yesterday asked in the chat, do you need a sales tax number, or will EIN work? Your EIN will work. That's totally fine. And also Redbubble does handle the returns. If it were me, and I were starting out, the first thing I would want to do is decide if I want to do a general store or a niche specific store. So if, like, let's say, because I always tell folks, start out with what you know. If you're really into gaming or something like that, I would probably start out, like Jeff said, with like 10 to 12 designs unique to that niche. There are benefits to having a niche store. There are benefits to having a general store as well, but you got to get a lot of volume in order for those keywords to ping. So once I figured out, like, okay, I'm going to either go general or niche, then I would go in and do like 10 to 12 listings. That would be my initial thought process on that.
This is further down the line for those of you listening that are new.
I was going to say real quick, I don't think you need a sales tax number for Amazon at all.
No.
Because I've never provided
card, right? I mean, social security number. Some people are weird about giving that out, though.
Yeah, you can do social security or EIN, but sales tax number you don't need, because you are not the seller on Amazon. Amazon is a seller. They take care of the tax and everything, and they're paying you royalties for your design.
Yeah.
Whereas Etsy and eBay and your own website, you are the seller. But eBay still, just to go further, eBay still handles the sales tax as well now. So you don't really have to worry about that for any platform with your own.
Nice.
And then that's a whole nother ballpark, whole nother discussion.
Yeah.
What do you want, Kit?
I have one sale in that Printful eBay integration when it first started, and it was a piece of artwork, and I was so excited because I made like $60 off of it, and then I haven't sold anything since. Wow. It was just that anything else that came out of my eBay shop was just any stuff I was reselling, but no more print on demand stuff. I was like, dang, it was super easy. I got the money almost instantly. Like, yeah. I
have like maybe a dozen shirts that I did way back when the first integration came out, and then when they did when they started upgrading the integration to make it actually work, those shirts now are not synced properly. They'll still sell, but when they get to Printful, it comes up saying it's nothing to sync to, so I have to go manually create the order, and I don't want to go redo the listing because it's got traffic and history now and sales, so it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. But
yeah,
I never set my eBay Printful up. I didn't mess with that.
You need to.
It was super easy.
It is super easy, and it's another revenue stream, and you have all the designs, so you might as well do it if you want to create a new store. I just use my existing store.
Do you worry about this? Is for. Do you worry about? Do you have it under your name, or do you have it in a different store? Because my thought is, like, on Amazon, like, I have a few shirts under like the shop Texas Gal Treasures, but mostly I have different, brand names on them, because as a content creator, there can be people that are, maybe try to file a copyright claim on you just to try to mess with you. I mean, unfortunately, there are people that do stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I've had one recently.
So do you have it under your store, or do you have it under like another store where nobody knows that that's
all my platforms are under my business name, Cosmic Frogs Vinyl, and I started off on eBay as I started off on eBay as a photographer, so my username had photography in it, and then I became a reseller, so my store name was Cosmic Frogs Finds or whatever, based on reselling stuff. And I just this week went through and updated everything, so it's all one brand name everywhere. Because I've had people that want on eBay. For example, I make the wooden flags, and I had one guy come up and say, "I want to order a dozen of these," and then say, "Do you have an email address so we can talk better?" And I told him I can't do it. eBay won't let me do it, but you can search Google my name and contact me there. And so having everything in one brand name makes it easier for people to find me.
That's true. That's true.
For some of my larger brands, I have a separate destination for it. And I've seen before where it's helped, particularly with one I remember, and this was a couple of years ago. I had a Juneteenth shirt that was selling very well. And with Amazon, when you go to click and it tells you when you'll receive the shirt by, I guess this guy, I saw this happen in the actual account. Like I saw when I got the sale, and then like it canceled like maybe like 30 minutes later or so. And then probably about an hour after that, I got a message on Facebook because I had the Facebook page for the brand. And the guy messaged me on Facebook and was like, "Hey, I just checked, and it said that the shirt wouldn't arrive in time. I still want the shirt. Is there another way you can get it to me?" And so I was like, "Sure." I have a friend here that has a heat press. And so I called her up. I was like, "How quickly can you get me the shirt?" And she was like, "I can have it this evening." He PayPal'd me the money. I actually ended up making more directly dealing with him than I did with, if I would have been going through Amazon. And then she did the shirt that night. I paid her for it, got it sent out to him, and we were good to go. So, I mean, there are benefits to it. But in terms of my actual name, no. Other than like one of the brands, so like for my content creation stuff, or like my stuff on Teespring, for stuff for the podcast. But outside of that, no, not really.
Yeah, I don't have my real name anywhere except for my website, I think. And that's only like in the contact page, or if we communicate by email. I don't say from Cosmic Frog on there.
Right.
That'd be kind of weird.
I see Patricia. I see some questions, but I want to do something else before, because she's asking about how to set up on eBay, but I wanted to get some other info before we do that, because that's like a whole nother. Okay, so I asked about like what platforms to start. A biggie for me too, I want to make sure for myself and for anybody who's new, if you are wanting to run your designs through copyright, to make sure that the it's not copyrighted. What site do you use? Because I know I used to use TM Hunt. Is that still a good site to use, or do you?
Are you talking two different things? You're talking copyright versus trademark.
Trademark.
It's hard to search for copyright.
Yeah, trademark is what I meant. I'm gonna just change my name.
I still use Trademarkia as the easiest, and then if I have to, I'll go straight to the government trademark site to actually look it up and read stuff, because that's an issue. It's hard because an example of what I just ran into is when you trademark something, you can trademark a word, a phrase, or an image, of the brand image. And so it's hard to search on any trademark site that I found an image. And when I had one removed recently, and I won't go into details, but I don't agree with the removal because it was improper use of the trademark. But it was an image trademark. There was no way for me to search it. And he actually trademarked it 3 years after I first published my design.
Wow.
So that gets even harder. But yeah, it's hard to find an image trademark, but phrases and words. And I will say on that note, Amazon is very liberal. Yeah, I think that's the right word, with their interpretation of trademarks. And you'll never win with Amazon. You have to go to the person that claimed the trademark, and there again, you'll never win.
Might as well just suck it up and take it down,
Yeah, unless you have the money to fight it with a lawyer, and a lot of times it's not worth it. This one was almost worth it because it was my number one selling shirt, and I took a big chunk. My next paycheck is going to be like half. So
wow.
But unless you have the pockets to fight it, just swallow your pride and move on. I didn't even contact the guy. I don't think it, maybe there's a small chance he would have said okay, but I doubt it.
I mean, realistically, there are some avenues to fight, but they make it really difficult, right? So the first thing I would say, and kind of piggybacking off of what Jeff was saying, I always go to uspto.gov. Right. I gotta go straight to the source. And for anybody who is just getting started, and I'm not a trademark expert by any means, but the class for t-shirts is class 25. And so that's generally what I'm looking for. when I'm looking for those. Not to say that, oh, if it's trademarked somewhere else, because again, to Jeff's point, they're so liberal with Amazon. Amazon receives more legal notices in a week than most businesses do in a year. So they're just like, screw it all. You're not going to get, you're not going to get. Yeah. I will say, and I know that the Facebook groups have become really, really toxic today. Let me say that to the new sellers now. The Facebook groups for print on demand and the Reddit groups have always been toxic, but the Facebook groups in particular are really toxic nowadays, and they don't give a lot of value. It's not like when Margaret, Jeff, and I met, with Merch University and Merch Minds. It's a completely different atmosphere. That being said, there is still one group, the Trademark Watchdogs, that I really make sure that I frequent that a lot, because so many people are filing frivolous trademarks right now on things like, I remember Mama Bear was a big thing a couple of years ago when they did that. This was something that the Trademark Watchdogs Facebook group actually fought. And I mean, we submitted letters of protest, time and time again, to the point that they actually went and changed the process for it. And so now they charge us $50 every time we have to submit an LOP. But, it did let us know that, okay, obviously we're making traction somewhere. We're getting a lot of these frivolous trademarks thrown out. But it's almost like P for P copies. It's the nature of the beast. The best thing to do is to move on, which is why I keep telling folks, stop telling people this is passive income. You have to work. You may have, 5 or 10 top sellers that a year and a half from now, somebody has decided they're going to come along and trademark reputation. Thank you, Taylor Swift. And, all of a sudden your top seller is gone. So it's just best to kind of keep moving. It is an active business. It's a business that you can make a lot of money off, but it's an active business. You have to put in time and a continual work into it.
Yeah.
And to answer Fines of yesterday, she was asking if you have a good design, you should trademark it before someone else does. That's the problem, is people are abusing what a trademark is. If you have a design, you can't trademark. You shouldn't be able to trademark it. That's a copyright issue. And once you design it, you automatically have the copyright, but it's best to register the trademark, or that copyright with the government, so you have better fighting abilities, and you can get more whatever. But what a trademark is, it was meant for protection of a brand, like Nike, Swish. That would be trademark, because they don't want you to do a swish and people confuse your swish with their brand. If your swish has something derogatory, they don't want that affect their company. But too many people right now are doing what you ask, saying, I'm going to trademark this design. And that's what happened to me with this shirt. They're going to trademark this image, which, it could have been their brand, and I'm fine with that. But my use of that image, which was way before they even come up with it, incorporated a lot of different elements to make a whole design and had nothing to do with their brand. So you got to keep in mind copyright versus trademark.
Yep.
Yeah, and about the
doesn't care.
No.
People will file a trademark notice on your design when it's not their brand. It's just, people are going out and trademarking phrases because they don't want other people to use that phrase. And they'll give you the notice if you use their phrase in a paragraph. It's just, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
And also to remember with that, I mean, you have to think, we are selling largely on these platforms. These are global platforms. And so what may be a case for a US based law may not be the same in the UK and France and Germany and in Japan, which is why I say a lot of times with those P for P copies, like it never fails. At least once a month, one of my designs ends up on Alibaba or AliExpress. And what am I going to do? Issue a takedown to them? They don't care. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's sold. I did t-shirts for my fraternity's reunion, and somebody put it up on their store like, oh yeah, brand new, and it's like, dude, nobody's gonna buy it from me. So
and like you said, Germany and UK, and I assume I don't know about Japan and Spain and the other marketplaces, they have their own trademark entities. So this design that got removed from the US sites, I can still have it up on the other marketplaces because they have different trademarks.
Mm. And for those of you who don't know, the P for P stands for pixel, meaning like they took his exact design down to the pixel and put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had
Okay.
that time a few years ago with Teespring, I think it was, and a couple others where people were just mass producing every person's design, and would spend days and weeks going to Teespring typing out these little copy wrapped letters to get them removed. I mean, they removed them, but it was a lot of work.
You take one down and 5 more come up.
Or
You
pop
remember
up,
when
yeah.
Margaret actually called the site, called the number? I was watching that a few weeks ago. I was like, she actually just picked up the phone and called the number.
By the way, they didn't answer, for those of you wondering. It was funny though.
You should put that clip on Instagram. That was hilarious.
I'll have to, yeah. I'll do that. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that later. It makes me laugh every time because it's just Joe's head shake, his disappointment. Yeah. Kills me. Okay. Okay, so if you're new, here's another one, and you're not a designer, like you don't know Photoshop or Illustrator, what's the best place that you would suggest someone go to start designing and not have to worry about like, is this an image I can use or things like that?
Well, for images and stuff, there's places like Pixel Bay and what's it called? Free Pix?
Free Pick. And the
You still gotta be careful. You still got to be careful.
Yeah, you still got to be careful. I kind of prefer the safe route. So if I was going to go somewhere and get images, I would probably go to Creative Fabrica. It's just a little bit more trusted in terms of like Pixabay has done a really good job over the years of cleaning up some of the riffraff that was in there. But the other thing that I would suggest, especially if you're like not a seasoned designer or anything like that, you guys have seen before, I do all these quick tutorials with GoDaddy Studio. It used to be Over. It used to be the Over app, and now it was acquired by GoDaddy, and so it's GoDaddy Studio. And it's available on iPhone as well as Android. With the pro version of that, all of the pictures in their library can be used for commercial use. So all of the images, all of the fonts, those can all be used for commercial use. Right about now, I would say 80% of my designs I do with GoDaddy Studio. And then there's some stuff that I still will go in afterwards in Photoshop or Illustrator and do, but that's just because I've been using those tools for so long. Like it's still kind of like, I can make it different because obviously if I go in and I say I want to do an ice cream cone shirt, everybody else who has GoDaddy Studio has access to the exact same ice cream cone. So I just go in and do a couple of things that are a little different. But fundamentally, if you're just getting started, I mean, it's a quick drag and drop type, Make merch is another one. I miss your make merch videos, Margaret. So yeah, I mean, but that's the good thing about it. I mean, and a lot of people, they don't like to do the pro version of things. I say it like this: to me, it's worth the peace of mind paying the $99 a year for GoDaddy Studio to just go ahead and do it. Same thing with Canva. Canva, if you don't want to do $99, Canva is like $12 a month. It's the same thing. Just the investment is worth the peace of mind and knowing that you can use them for commercial use and you don't have to run into any of these issues.
One, I don't like GoDaddy, but it sounds like a good source, and I'm going to look into it. GoDaddy is my nemesis.
I'm sorry to interrupt real quick. Was the GoDaddy Studio?
Yeah, it's my return sound. I just had a return on merch.
I thought you were playing a Cardi B song.
Okay, one more time. Okay. GoDaddy Studio, is that one $99 like straight out? Is that what you're saying?
I think monthly, if I'm not mistaken. I know it's $99 for the year. And I just go ahead and do it for the year.
Yeah.
It's a little easier for me in my books, but I can check really quickly. But yeah, Jeff, I understand it. And a lot of people don't, particularly like GoDaddy as a service, but they did acquire Over, and I've been using Over all this time, so I didn't see any reason to change.
They also acquired Outright a couple years, and that's my bookkeeping software. And yeah, it's all right. I'm switching over to QuickBooks. But I was going to say on the cost, Free Pick is a good source. But if you're doing the free pick, you're supposed to attribute the artist on anything you use. But if you pay used to be $9.99 a month. I don't know what it is now. You don't have to have attribution. You don't have to attribute to the artist, and you get their premium images as well, which I'd say their site is now 75% premium, and the 25% the free stuff. And the premium is really good. They have artists that work for the website and churn out stuff daily, and it's I've liked Free Pick, and I need to start up paying them again. But on that note, I stopped paying them. A good source for people starting off that really don't know how to design is Purchasing Designs. I do that a lot now. I just purchased. You got to be careful when you purchase design because it's up there for everybody. Unlike, I don't know if the sites are still out there that popped up when merch was new, that they would sell only to one person and then the design was unavailable. But most places now they sell to everybody, and that design never comes down. But I recently bought a bundle that was pretty cheap, and it had a lot of designs in it. And I did some searching, and yeah, some of them were already up on merch, but a lot of them weren't. And some of those designs now are some of my best sellers. And that
being said, too, like, go on.
I was gonna say the problem is other people can still probably put those same designs up on merch after you. And I never tried, so I don't know if you can have them taken down.
If they're non-exclusive, no.
Yeah, you can't really say copyright because those designers still own the copyright, and so they have rights to use it. But technically, they should change it up a bit. But a lot of people don't. They don't care if there's 3 other of the same design up. They're going to put it up, and Amazon doesn't screen that.
If you're new or just getting into this and you're like, that kind of freaks me out, I'm not ready for that, you can totally go text-based and just do words. If all of this like talk about like, I don't know what pictures to use.
At the peak of last year, I was making $1,000 a month just on my text-based designs.
That's awesome.
Damn.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Which down to 400 or 500.
It hurts. Listen, it hurts my ego because I'm like, damn, I've been a graphic designer for almost 22 years. And like the text-based stuff is just the words. That's it. Oh, okay. Got it. GoDaddy is $99 a year or $14.99 a month.
Okay.
But they do give you a 7-day trial.
Yeah. Yeah. But I also want to say, if you aren't following Nick on Instagram, he does these like super sped up his design. He's doing a design on not Over now. What's it called? GoDaddy Studio.
GoDaddy Studio. Yep.
And I don't know. It motivates me. It just gets me like, okay, I need to get in there and play with that. And if you have like my kids, they can sit there and play on it. They can make shirts or whatever, or make designs. We were talking about that earlier.
In Free Pick, I just checked, is the same thing. It's $9.99 if you pay for the whole year, or it's $14.99 a month.
Okay. Okay, and I know there's questions in there, but I want to ask you, for somebody starting out, what would be your number one do and your number one don't?
Number one do, read the terms of service of whatever platform you plan on selling on. It's different. Each site, they have their unique traffic. They have their rules. Some places allow parity, which is, instead of Nike, you say Psyche or whatever the case may be. But read the terms of service, whatever platform you're going. That's the very first thing I would do before I signed up. What I would not do is I would not spend a bunch of time in like and I know it sounds like I'm dumping on the groups, because there really are, like, Young still runs the merch mining group. He just started up again. There's still some good. I would not spend the time just kind of perusing those groups, and I would just allocate that to researching what it is that you want to get into. And I know it's difficult to stay out of them, because I mean, I can't speak for y'all, but even after all this time, like, I've been selling, print on demand almost 6 years now, and still no one knows what it is exactly that I do. Like, my mom calls me just the other day and she's like, "Hey, I need some shirts made for something for her daycare center." I was like, "Okay, great." I'm like, finally she's actually calling me, asking like, "Yeah, can you tell Latanya to give me a call?" I'm like, "Ma, I literally teach people how to do this." So there's a solitude that comes with it. So you want to be around other folks that do it. So I understand wanting to get into groups, but don't start off that way, because all it's going to do is be a time suck of people putting screenshots up, whether they're fake or real, people selling you their course, whether they're fake or real, or people arguing with each other about anything. Use that time wisely to research the niches that you want to get into.
And on that note, like, I'm probably in some groups, but I don't follow any of those groups at all. If anything, like, I follow you on Instagram, like, just to get myself motivated. RJ, I mean, just like pick and choose, like, people that you're like, I like Jeff, of course. I mean, and find, like I say, I try to, because there's so much drama everywhere. I just can't even. So just stay out of that.
My number one job would probably be stay out of the groups, because all groups are drama, and the merch groups have become intense drama. And the do's would be, like Nick was saying, is research. If you're just new, YouTube, with anything you do, YouTube is a great source. Yes, you have to be careful of some people, but there's a lot of great videos out there. Margaret's channel is a great example. She has lots of videos of how to do things with Canva. Is it Canva? Yeah. But she has a lot of great videos on creating shirts, text shirts, easy picture shirts. I have some videos on eBay integration with Printful. I do a lot of Printful stuff. Sorry, Nick, I listen to your podcast, but I haven't seen much of your YouTubes or anything, so I don't know if you have those. But YouTube's a great source. And
follow me on Instagram. You only show me love when I post memes about Gavin Newsom on Facebook. That's gosh.
Yeah, we're not going to go there. Another good tool, and I hate promoting this place, only the free part of it, is Merch Informer. They have a paid stuff, and I don't use it, so I can't recommend it at all. But they have a free tool called what is it called?
It's merchresearch.com.
Yeah, Merch Research, where you can type in the phrase or the title of your shirt, and it will pull up. I gotta go back to the duck. It will pull up all the shirts on Amazon that match that, so you can see how many there are. I think you can sort it by the highest BSR, but that may just be a plugin I have. But you can see with the highest, see if it's even selling. There only be 10 of them, and none of them have a rank yet. So it's a great, and then there may be 1,000 of them. And I use that, like I said, I buy bundles of pre-design. So I type in what it is and see if that design's up there already, or see if it's even worth putting up. So those would be my do's and don'ts.
I have a link too. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and in full disclosure, I am a Merch Informer affiliate. I do use the paid version. I will also say I pay for my version. Like I do not do, if it's something that I have not paid for with my money, I will not talk about it. I know people like to give Merch Informer a lot of crap, but even if you go past the research portion of it, there are some other tools that are in there that are wonderful. They have graphics that they give you a file of graphics every month, and this is something that they've commissioned artists to actually create. So these are for commercial use, created specifically for those who are paid subscribers to Merch Informer, and you get them every month. They also have a designer in there, so if you're not a designer, you can use the designs within there. You can do the text-based stuff. Like, so I get what you're saying, but I think for me, Merchant Former is so much more than just the research. Let's see what's trending, what's this, what's that. They've kind of evolved into this more encompassing type of entity that can help people at all levels. So,
yeah, I don't use it and I don't pay for it, so I won't say one way or the other about it. But I like the free tool. That's my go-to tool for research right now. Besides the plugin, what's it called? Productor, which I think you turned me on to.
Yeah, that's also owned by Merchant Former.
Yeah, that's I love that, and that's a free plugin, and it is awesome.
I don't know.
And for uploading designs, it is the best.
Yeah. Maybe I do. That's the one where you can get all the stuff on all the stuff.
Yep, you can copy paste, you can translate, you can resize it.
I love their translator. That alone has made me so much money in the past year since the last time we talked, and you turned me on to that, because you can bring up your design and say, I want to do it in all the marketplaces. You just go down afterwards and copy paste your description and titles, and then click the translate tools in each marketplace. And that helps sell your products. And I've sold a lot of my old designs on all these marketplaces.
Wait, it does more than just merch? Does it send it to other platforms too?
No, it only does merch, but it does all the marketplaces, all Spain, Japan. And that's what you got to be careful of too, because I go through and I just do them all. And a phrase that may be perfect in English on the US, they say, oh, we can't put that on a used shirt, so it gets rejected. In France is has been my nemesis on that. It's perfect in English or here, but France
I've stayed away from used sizes so much lately, just for that.
I just turn off used sizes now. I don't care about the small people anymore. They can go to my website.
I have a link for Merchant Former down below because I'm one of their affiliates as well. And that's what I was going to say, that they have the designer like in that. Yeah. Another place, if you're not a designer, that you can go in.
And speaking of not a designer, you can use services like Fiverr. You have to find the right one, because a lot of them you'll get crap. But
I think there's a video called My Fiverr Nightmare that was like trying to get this one designer to make
I've had a couple, because with my flags, I do a lot of military logos, and people just send me a photo of it. And I need a vector file, an SVG or AI. And I'm not, the Illustrator has that quick trace tool, but it doesn't work on photos and stuff like that. And I was using a Fiverr person for a while, and for a while they were okay. But then I don't know what happened. I started getting crap from them. So I found a good old US graphic artist. Sorry, I didn't come to you, Nick. But she converts them for me for $20. If you can beat her, Nick, you can
listen.
Get my business.
I will say this: until this year, I was 100% against Fiverr, and that's just because of my background as a graphic designer. I felt like it devalued the skill set, because some of the things on there now that they're doing for $50, $100 was stuff that I was able to charge $500, $600 for 10, 15 years ago. So. But this year, I actually became a believer. I was actually thinking about this the other day, about doing a video on how to, properly search for someone on Fiverr to do that type of work. I found an illustrator in Italy. If you all have seen my Morning Cup of Merch illustration, the one that's of me, then Marty, she's amazing. She's in Italy. She did those for me in a day.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, if you click on Morgaine TV's comment, she also did Morgaine's illustration that's in her profile picture. She's amazing. She's quick. She took a picture of it, and she just 24 hours later had the final product. So there's a way that you can find. There are good people, good content creators that are on Fiverr. You just got to filter through a lot of the crap, but it's worth it. I've used it for descriptions for my YouTube channel. I've used it for a lot this year, way more than I thought I would. But
I'll have to get that link from you later.
So I think I asked you. I think you sent it to me a while back because I asked.
I want to cartoon myself.
You want a cartoon of yourself?
Yeah, I need a. I mean, I just have my frog image, but I should probably get a couple myself for my Instagram, and that's where I lack right now is Instagram. I mean, I'm a spurter, you know. Thank you.
Money, please.
$5. But yeah, I lack the discipline to keep up with Instagram, keep up with YouTube. Whenever I do a new product on eBay and my website, for my website at least, I do post on Twitter and Pinterest and Facebook, my Facebook page. That's automatic. But I need to be more out there on Instagram and Twitter as a person rather than just posting links all the time.
Yeah.
Somebody was asking about if they should get an Instagram account, and yes, I would say yes. It's a good business tool. One thing I do like, I don't think it works with eBay or Amazon, but it works if you have your own website. You can, and if you post a product image or have an image with a product in it, you can link it to the product on your website so people can click and go there. Same thing with Pinterest, I think.
I think on my Etsy, like I have a the link tree up in the top of my Instagram account, and in that link tree you can put a bunch of different links, and I have one that shoots to my Etsy store. I don't know if I have it going to both my Etsy stores.
Link tree on my Instagram, but yeah, that's a good.
Oh, I absolutely do.
Yeah,
it's been a lifesaver. I really didn't understand how integral it was until I started using Clubhouse, but yeah, I adore Linktree.
I had to stop Clubhouse. I couldn't keep up with everything.
I gotta take my Twitch stream out.
Here's a question. Eric Rosner asks, any keyword secrets or just keyword tips? Like if you're new, like how would you?
I struggle with that too. I just describe the shirt or describe the design. I know Nick does more keyword research than everybody probably does it more than I do. I really don't research keywords. I just describe my product. You know, I try to
research.
Keyword secrets. I can't say that they're secrets. So that's the thing about it. It's a pretty simple process. I think the biggest issue is you can have a great listing, you can have a great design. If there's either no interest for it or there's too much interest for it, then you won't be able to break through, right? Mm-hmm. So I think the problem is everybody goes through and they say, okay, I want to make a Christmas shirt. So they make a Christmas shirt as opposed to like really niching down with it. If there's a secret, the secret is to find the portion that is still somewhat in demand and that you can niche down and think about that seller that cannot find the shirt that they particularly want, right? I'll give you one, and we are adults here. One set of folks who seemingly cannot ever find an abundance of things for them are people in the swinger community. I've talked to folks and they said, look, they want this. And I would say this, if you're going to, let's cross promote. No, I'm not a swinger. I see the look in your eyes, Joe. No, I'm not a swinger. I'm not coming to you.
I wanted to make sure I heard you correctly.
Yes, the swinger community. Seriously. But I mean, if you find an underserved community and you make designs for them, they will be loyal to you and your brand. That's and you can, and what I'm doing now is a lot of times I'll go back and I've taken my old designs and I've done it, holiday themed. If let's say you were doing a shirt for swingers and you did a Christmas swinger shirt, they're normal people like everybody else. They celebrate Christmas too. They might want a naughty Santa or a naughty Santa's helper type of shirt. So it's no secret to it. It's just you have to find the people who are really underserved and you make shirts for them.
Are they underserved though, or would they be overserved?
I am not.
I was just picturing Santa swinging with all the elves and
two Santas. No.
Right.
You can go far with that. I was about to
Now
ask you.
Dasher, now Dancer, now Brittany, now Whitney,
Oh,
and
that's
everybody
not swinging. That's bestiality. So let's not go there.
Just they're in costumes. Don't get nasty. Swingers
But no,
make fun
I
too.
but I had an Etsy store that was centered around adult novelties, and that was a huge, like, one of the number one requests was, do you have things for swingers, like phrases for swing? We can't find anything with any, and I'm like, I don't know what phrase. I didn't know there were swinger phrases. I didn't know there was swinger jargon. But hey, I'll say this much: the research was fun as hell. But
your wife's like, Nick, what are you looking up, honey?
but no, seriously, it's just about finding that underserved niche and really do it. I say the same thing about obscure holidays. Like, if you think about it, prior to the protests and everything last year, nobody was, and I noticed this with how my money's dropped. Nobody was thinking about Juneteenth 2 years ago. Nobody. It was an underserved niche, and now everybody has Juneteenth shirts. Nobody was thinking about Kwanzaa.
I didn't know what it was.
Exactly.
It's not taught in schools, so I didn't know what it was until you posted stuff about it last year, and then I did some research.
Exactly. There are literally 15 holidays on December 1st. Somebody's buying stuff for that. Flat earthers are, I don't agree with them worth anything, but flat earthers, I'll take the money. Like, so it can be anything.
That's a cool little tool. I haven't really used it, but in Productor, one of the tabs on your dashboard is upcoming holidays and stuff. And it just lists all those out. I think it needs to be, and I haven't looked at it, it may do this, but it needs to be a little bit more, more forward looking rather than just it's coming up next week. So you can take that tool and go to Google and research it yourself, upcoming holidays in December. So that's a good thing. I know you do a lot of niches, Nick, and you're really successful at that. And I'm more of a throw everything on the wall and see what sells type thing. And like I said, I brought a bundle, and the bundle had 10 different categories, if you want to call them niches. And I just started throwing things up there. And the biggest seller is religious shirts. Christianity and Buddhism are my biggest, they're not my biggest sellers, but niches wise, I have a lot of religious shirts out that sell well.
So for a new person, when you talk about niche down, I know what you mean, but like if you were going to explain it to somebody who is new, like I have no idea what you're talking about, what would you say?
So if I had, let's say it was Christmas, and I only say that because we're like,
go on.
I said because we're about 90 days out. So I would say if I wanted to design for Christmas, okay, we've got Christmas. We know that's going to give us over 50,000 results on Amazon. Okay, so where and how can I break through? This is how you niche down. I've got Christmas right here. Now I got to think about the things that people like to do for Christmas. You got ugly Christmas sweater parties. Okay, that's one. Ugly Christmas sweater is trademark. Please don't use it. That's another one of those frivolous trademark types of things. But niching down one, ugly Christmas sweater parties, or Christmas for dog lovers. So, fur baby Christmas. That's another way of niching down. If you want to niche down even more, fur baby pug Christmas shirt. Then you want to niche down even more. Fur baby pug puppy Christmas. So now you've gone from Christmas to ugly sweaters to fur babies to fur baby puppies, and now you can create an ugly sweater style fur baby pug Christmas shirt, and you've niched down so much that you've gone from 50,000 maybe down to about under 1,000. It's possible. Dogs are pretty popular, so it might be a little bit more. There are people who are, let's say they're, I don't know, marijuana smokers. Cool. Now it's, Christmas. Now you got, Christmas marijuana smokers. Santa with marijuana. So now you may have an illustration done where Santa is literally high in the sky. That's what I mean by niching down. And so you just want to whittle away as much of the general niche that's selling as much as possible, so that you can kind of dig deep into the person that has a specific interest, but they still want to do something. They still want a shirt that's in that kind of realm.
Identifying for themselves, right? Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
a good way to do that is either in the Amazon search bar or the Google search bar, start typing Christmas t-shirts, and the intuitive, whatever you want to call it, will start filling out things that are searched often. And so you can find a long, what they call long tail keychain or keyword phrases that people search, and that will give you an idea of what might sell well. And
I personally love doing mashups. I mean, that's one thing I miss doing, because it was so fun just to make the designs. They may not be, some of them are not the best sellers, but they're so fun to make. So when they do sell, I'm like, there's my people, you know.
Yeah, my Easter pickle.
My pickle Santa.
Pickle Santa. I had an ice cream cat. It was an ice cream cone shirt. I called him Herbert. Yeah. And I was like, this is the most morbid stuff I've ever seen in my life, but it sells. Like, you know, you never know what people like. Literally, it is so funny, because every time I see it sell, I'm like, who is buying this stuff? But just at random, I did an astronaut cat taking a selfie in space riding a whale. And 8 people have bought this thing so far, and I have no clue.
Send me a link. I'll buy one.
I'll send you the link. It's just the craziest thing, because I'm like, how did you even find it? One, because I didn't think I did the best job of the keywords, because I thought it was like, it's all over the place. But I was just messing around with Over at the time, now GoDaddy Studio, and I was like, okay, well, let's just see how crazy I can get with this. And people actually bought it. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. And then just taking, like, there's one that, you know, it's like patriotic. Let's say I'm going to do a patriotic shirt, but I want to do a patriotic teacher's probably really overdone. Patriotic, you know, garbage man. Patriotic, you know, any. Do what?
I was just about to say garbage man. Because I'm pretty sure they don't have a lot of shirt for garbage men.
Yeah. So just trying to think about like anything like that.
You know, put a flag on it. I stink, so America doesn't. And there you go. You got a patriotic garbage man shirt. I actually might do that.
That's a really good idea. See Jeff.
I like the patriotic theme. I have a lot of shirts up there, but in today's climate, you need to be careful with what you do.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
Please do not use someone who is not like, you can use politicians are fair game because they're public officials. As long as they're in office, you can use them. When they're no longer in office, you cannot. But you can't take a picture from from Getty Images and do it. You don't own that picture. You can't take that politician's official logo. But I will say, when it comes to things like, obviously for the last 4 years, we've seen the Trump shirts have been ridiculously successful for people. The Biden shirts, whether you're for or against them, ridiculously successful for people. But I think the problem is, and that goes back to the question about niching down, is everybody just kind of stops there. Well, of course, you're going to run into a few dozen thousand, of Biden shirts. But what about your governor? What about your mayor? What about your state representative? What about your senator? What about your House representative?
Soon to be ex-governor.
When's that recall again? Active campaign that's going on in California.
Oh, you're talking about yours, not mine.
Yeah. No, we can only hope for yours. We'll leave it alone. We'll leave it alone. I can't talk. I live in Mississippi. My governor's.
And also, anyway. You said official logos of the politicians. You got to be careful of parodies of those logos. If it looks anything like the official, I know Amazon will flag it. Personal experience.
Yeah. And when, for example, whenever the primaries were going on for the election before, the last election, I had shirts up for how many Democratic candidates
were 23 Democratic candidates, and I made money off all 23.
Yeah, I put up every one of them. And every now and then it's still like, I still get a shirt sale from one or the other, here and there.
Yeah, I'm of one political leaning, and I put t-shirts up for both. And I get complaints sometime from the other side, or from my side saying, why are you selling products for the other side? I'd say, well, no matter what my affiliation is, I'm a capitalist first. And if they sell, I'm going to make the money.
Yeah, exactly. Both
So,
sides.
I mean, it's up to you if you want to, support one side only.
Yeah.
When it comes to politics, and money, I don't support either side, and I'll put out both sides parodies and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Is there anything else y'all want to share?
advertising. What do you guys do?
Nothing.
I started touching that with Amazon, of whatever they call it. What do they call it now? I have it
It used
here.
to be AMS. Now it's just Amazon advertising.
Yeah, I started using that, and it's worked. I shut mine off recently because I got a bill. I mean, it says I spent $343, and then I have made $952 in sales. But when you look at it, I'm only getting a couple bucks from each sale. It didn't really pan out for me, I think. So I don't know if I'm going to do it. What I was trying to do, after watching YouTube videos, was whenever I get a new shirt that I think is good, is I will put it into my advertisement. And Amazon does all the stuff. You don't have to think. And once it starts sells a couple of shirts and gets up ranking, then I'll take it out of advertising and let the organic sales take over, hopefully. And it's kind of worked that way. But like I said, my bill was a high bill last time, and I just sticker shock shut it off.
Well,
but I'm thinking about doing Google ads.
I was doing that too. I kind of amended my advertising strategy. So now really what I'll only do is I only advertise my listings that have reviews. And then, usually those are the ones that I'm setting at $19.99 so that I get a higher royalty. So it does kind of offset that cost a little bit. Because, the more you advertise, the higher the threshold goes. And with me now, like it's at like 500 before they charge me. I'm like, at 500 a pop, I can run through that in a week. So it just makes a little bit more sense for me now to just be like, let me just do my ones that have the reviews, which is another reason why I love Productor, because I can see when I have new reviews coming in. I'm like, oh, let me go ahead and throw an ad on this one.
Yeah, I keep my prices high. So somebody was asking that, and I can't find the person right now, but somebody was asking about saying that, here it is. I know when this is it's a hazard life. I know in merch, and we all started it. The strategy was the price to break even, then increase. Yeah, there it is. Is how people are still doing it. Personally, I'm not.
No.
I see a lot of people lowballing, just trying to get sales. They don't care. I leave it at the recommended price point when you upload it, which is $19.99, I think. For is it $19.99 for a standard shirt? I know it is for premium.
Yep.
So yeah, I just leave it there and let it go. And then like I said, new shirts I throw in my advertising queue, and then once they sell, I'll take 5 or 10 shirts and get a good ranking. I'll remove them from advertising. But I may lower the price. I'll go back and look at my old shirts that have been up there for years, and if they haven't sold in a while, I might lower those. But when I start them off, they start off high, or not high. They start off at the standard price.
I play around with them a little bit, but I learned my lesson. If you guys remember last year, we had the whole month shut down on merch. I think it was April? And then when May came around, May and June, we still couldn't adjust the pricing. So one of my brand new Juneteenth shirts started selling like through the roof, but I was only making like 70 cents off of it. And I couldn't adjust the pricing. And after that, I was like, you know what? Screw it. Because my other one, which is my top seller, was still selling. It was selling more than that at $19.99. Now, I will say it does have 75 reviews on it. But the point is, they will both sell at that price. So don't be afraid to play around with the pricing. For me, probably the lowest I'll go at this point is $16.99. But, that $18.99 to $19.99, that's kind of my sweet spot right now.
Yeah. With Printful, I do almost every product, so I'm making $5 at least. And on eBay and Amazon, where there's fees, we'll bump the price up to cover those fees. And so I want to make at least $5. And I know I see sweatshirts out there that are, Printful only charges 20 something, I think, for a sweatshirt, but people are asking 40 and 50. I just don't see that, but more power to them. You do?
sold one today. I was telling you in the chat, like I saw my first Christmas. It's a design that I have up on Etsy that's a good seller for me every holiday season. I just sold my first sweatshirt, $40 on the sweatshirt. I mean, I know that's not what I'm going to end up making, but that's how much the person paid.
I'll have to check mine, but I need to make a minimum of $5.
Yeah,
I think profit wise, because even after that, because even on my website, I have PayPal fees, or I also use Stripe as another gateway. So there's a fee there. It's a 2.9%, and
I'm gonna be right back.
$5. Oh no!
I forgot something.
You gonna leave us here alone? Well, real quick, hi Biohazard. I remember you from the good old days.
Wow.
That was ages ago.
Man, listen, I get every now and then I still get people and they'll say, "Oh my gosh, I love the podcast. I appreciate what you do. So when's Merch Talk coming back?" And I'm just like, am I a joke to you? But I mean, I miss Merch Talk too. I do miss those Wednesdays. It was Wednesday at 1? Like I do miss that. Yeah. So
I'm all for continuing once a month or twice a month. I don't care.
Yeah, definitely.
This is my social life. I don't have a life outside of, when the pandemic hit, it's like nothing changed for me. I stay home, work all my stuff, and go to the post office, pick up some supplies, and pick up a Starbucks, and go back home and work.
So with that, how's the reselling been? And I know this is a little bit, off topic, but just in general, how's it been?
I don't do a lot of reselling anymore. I may hit a garage sale once in a while or sell stuff I have laying around the house. I still have an inventory out in the shed, people call death piles or whatever, that I, from when I went out sourcing, and it's slowly disappearing. Like I said, I rebranded my eBay to match my products, the t-shirts, the vinyl, and the woodworks, and all the Printful stuff. So, and I'm going to go in later today or tomorrow, because I used to have categories for all my reselling stuff, and then t-shirts and vinyl and stuff. I'm going to be removing all those categories and changing them just to my product lines, and then have a category, resale crap.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it goes.
I know Chris is still doing his thing, so we're gonna check in with him on that. Finds yesterday says, so since you're linked to Etsy, eBay, etc., do you still have to go in and place the order when someone orders it, or does it go to the printer directly and you just collect profit?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. I was about to say, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say yes on the later part. Yeah. If you're integrated with Printful, the Etsy, eBay, Amazon, your website, using Shopify or WooCommerce, the order goes in to Printful, goes directly to them. They print it and send it out, hopefully in a timely fashion, and you collect the money. If you're on website, the money goes directly to you first. Mm-hmm. That's why I like it. And that's why I try to point everybody on all platforms to my website somehow.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I mean, eBay has, and everyone's comments on this in the forums and stuff, groups, but eBay is becoming more of an Amazon clone in that respect, that they don't want the sellers to be your seller. Amazon, the sellers are theirs. You're just supplying stuff. eBay used to be able to do things, and I just noticed this a few months ago, because I use ShipStation to ship, because I have so many platforms. They all come into ShipStation, and I used to be able to see the email of all my eBay buyers there. They've rechanged the whole messaging system, so it's now an eBay link, whatever. So if you do a reply to that, it goes through eBay now, so you can't email the buyers directly anymore. So it's getting harder and harder, but I still put marketing materials in my packages.
Yeah. Teespring actually did the same thing. You remember on Teespring in the old system, you used to be able to have, you get the unfiltered access to your customer, name, email address, the whole nine. You can't even message them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, I didn't realize that until the other day. And I was like, oh, wow, that's kind of crazy. But I mean, I get it. I'm pretty sure there may be some security issues with some of that stuff, but even still, it's, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to with platforms like Amazon, things that are fulfilled by them. It's hard to, if you have a website, because I want returning customers. I'd rather them return to my website than the platforms, just because I don't have all the fees there. I make more money on my website. With Printful, you can, and I don't think it's cost effective, but you can send marketing materials to Printful and they will put it in the packages for you. So your Etsy sales or eBay sales through Printful, you can get your marketing materials in there and kind of get them hopefully back to your website. So I have not done that with Printful because it costs. There's a fee associated with that, and to me, to recover that cost will take away from my profits from the t-shirts. About $5. And I don't know if I want to do that.
Nah, that makes sense. Middle-aged crazy said, I'm trying to find my place to work from home. Do you recommend start establishing myself on Instagram? I rarely get on it, not sure how to use it. I think that Instagram is a great platform, but I also think that you should be looking for the platform that is best for you. There are some people who completely thrive on Facebook, some that still thrive on Twitter, Instagram. I actually ran across a young lady on TikTok that, on TikTok they can duet the video. So like she did a video that went viral, where she started off by saying, tell me a video that lives rent free in your head. I'll go first. And then a lot of people would duet the video and talk about their videos. And it started spreading so much. And she was smart enough to say, you know what, let me capitalize on this. And so she opened a, I want to say it was a spreadshirt shop, with a shirt that said rent free. And it's been selling, it's been doing well. So it's really just about your level of comfortability and where you want to move. If you're comfortable with Facebook, then dig into Facebook, find a way to monetize it, whether or not it be a group, a Facebook page, whatever the case may be. Again, Instagram is great, and Instagram just happens to be working a bit for me right now. But whichever platform that you feel comfortable with, that you get the most engagement with, then dig into that a little bit more.
Yeah, I think if you're starting off, Instagram and all these others, they're social sites. It's more of a marketing tool. So I personally think you need to start first of, like you said, on a Redbubble or a Printful to Etsy or something, or if your own website, if you want to go that way, and then use Instagram. Start wearing your t-shirts on there, posting a product. It's that type of thing. Like I mentioned earlier, there's it's a shop in Idaho, and they started off as a little coffee shop and started making t-shirts and putting them up. And she now brings in products, jeans, dresses, shirts, and they have a website and they have this little coffee shop storefront, but they have a great Facebook group. There's it's 3 or 4 ladies, and every other day they have a party, which is basically a live like this on Facebook on their group, where they model the shirts and stuff and say, this is available right now for this on sale price. Just mark number 115 sold in the comments and it's yours. And they do very well doing that. So and you can do that on Instagram. I don't know how long the videos can be on Instagram, but you can do stuff like that on all these platforms, TikTok, to show your products. But you have to have products first. So that's where you're starting off. I think you need to get 12 products put up and then start buy the samples and start showing them. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody else, Morgan was talking about Pinterest.
Yeah.
I post everything to Pinterest, and I have Google Analytics up on my second monitor here, watching my website, and it has a live view, so I see people coming to my website real time, and it tells me where they came from. So I see people coming to my website from Pinterest all the time, and from Facebook. I haven't seen any from Instagram, but yeah, Pinterest is a great tool. And again, get the business. Instagram and Pinterest, get a business account, because both of those you can link to your products, at least if you have a website. I don't know if it works with Etsy or something like that. I think Pinterest does. We'll link to
I believe Pinterest and Etsy do, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, there's somebody on my website right now that's in San Francisco area.
Hold on. I gotta go one more time. Hang on 1 second.
What I was going to mention, because you're a big Teespring person, or used to be. I haven't visited Teespring in ages. I just went there the other day and saw, hey, I got $37. But they have grown quite a bit. And I saw they have new bucket hats. So I just made a bucket hat today. And they have grown, and it looks pretty good. I'm going to spend some time on that. We haven't talked about that, and that was supposed to be part of the I can't find the duck again. There's a duck. What this show is about, but restarting things and gearing back up for the holidays. And I'm going to spend some time on Teespring the next couple of weeks and beefing up my catalog there.
I think that first they're now rebranded as just Spring.
Spring. Yeah, sorry.
So I'm still a big Spring guy. I've kind of refocused. I don't necessarily put a lot of stuff in there for like their boosted network like I used to. Most of the things that I put on to Spring now are stuff that's based around my content. So my Morning Cup of merch shirts, my Press to Go button shirts, support Black content creators. Those are the things that I put on there now. Spring just they know who they are, they know who their audience is, and they know that their organic traffic sucks, and rather than trying to build that up, they just want to make themselves a resource to content creators. So I know a bunch of comedians, a bunch of different musical artists, all of these different folks who run their stores through Spring. That's the domain goes there, and that's what they do. And so knowing that they have that type of audience now and what type of exposure it is, because I think what really got them going was the YouTube merch shelf.
That's
and
what
when when they saw what was coming in from that, they were like, look, we just want to make sure that we do. And they're actually now getting ready to launch the same thing with TikTok creators, where they'll have their own merch shelf as well. So they know the audience that they serve now. So they stepped it up in terms of quality. I ordered a sample the other day, and it just the packaging for the sample, I was like, wow, this is crazy. But at this point, I would say in the last month or so, just from content creators that I support, I've purchased at least 8 or 9 products from Spring. So she's back.
There's one right there. When you get to Margaret's level, you can sell t-shirts on your YouTube channel that come from Teespring or Spring. And that's my goal in life, is to be like Margaret. I can't get my finger right. What is it? 10,000 subscribers?
I think so. I don't have 100,000.
So the 36 people out there that are watching, and one of those is me. The 35 other people, please go subscribe. I need like 8,000 more or 6,000 more. And I know I need to get more content up there to support that. But yeah, that is my goal in life. I have to start making t-shirts for my brand. That's another reason why I want to get a caricature of me done.
So I'll send you that link.
But Redbubble, same thing. Those are two, Spring and Redbubble. Those are two sites that I years ago just uploaded a bunch of stuff and walked away. And every once in a while, I get a paycheck from them. And I went to Redbubble, during the pandemic, and they were, they had masks, and Printful has masks now too. And I started doing a lot of masks, and I did pretty well. It's kind of gone away now, but I'm still selling a couple here or there. But Redbubble's got a lot of new products, and it's trying to get my old designs on the new stuff.
I hate to say it like this, but the pandemic saved Redbubble's business model. Because going into 2020, they were, I think the last numbers I saw, that they were at a $4 million loss. But because they were one of the only PLD spots that had masks readily available and ready to go, it went through the roof, and people bought other products while they were there. Redbubble was already great at retargeting people, and then by the end of 2020, they were at a $40 million profit.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, they were like you said, the first one to have masks, and as soon as I saw that, I started jumping on it. I didn't jump on it. I should have jumped harder on it. I know I only put a couple dozen sites. Thank you, Margaret. A couple dozen designs up there, but some of them sold, and with Printful, I have them on my website and eBay, and some of those sold. So
yeah.
So yeah, it's good to revisit platforms if you have stuff up on there, and yeah, a lot of new products. Let me click on my Redbubble, and I don't sell a lot on those. I sell more on Redbubble than Spring, and I like that because they automatically send me my money. I don't have to request a distribution. I have to log in again. But yeah, they have a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. And I need to get back. Like I said before, I haven't uploaded anything new. So everything I've got, I'm just sort of coasting on. And while I did a ton of work.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, I just went to Redbubble and looking at their mask, and I see one of the designs from that bundle I bought, which I loaded too. I was looking to see if it was my name. No, it's not my name, but it's the same design. That's the problem you run into. And here it is on a t-shirt too. So yeah, but the stickers and even Printful has come up with a lot of new designs. Where's their product catalog? Lately, every time I go there, they got something new. And it's not showing me. They got new hats, towels, notebooks. I started taking all my KDP cover designs and putting them on notebooks on my website and on eBay, because I already have them done for the covers. Bean bags. They have bean bags now. All over print.
Chairs?
beanbag chairs all over print.
Wow.
So my mind is still blown that I sold a shower curtain. I couldn't, I still couldn't believe that. So,
Wait, I could get like morning cup of merch on my shower curtain.
Yeah,
probably, but I didn't make a morning cup of merch.
get Nick's cartoon picture there, watching you shower.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding.
That'd be wrong, but yeah.
Somebody's watching me.
One of the biggest, what's the right word, trends right now is sublimation out there for the all the home crafters. And I was about to get into it, but then I thought, I don't need storage of I don't need another printer. I don't need another press. And I don't need another cupboard full of tumblers that aren't going to sell. I already have those. But Printful started off with their water bottle so that you could have them sublimate it. I'm waiting for them to come out with tumbler because there's a lot of designs out there. And I will bring this up. You were talking about ways people start. There's a website called Design Bundles, I think it is. Mm-hmm. The Design Bundles. Let me double check. And it's full of artwork. Yeah, designbundles.net. And
I think I've heard them before.
They do fonts and a lot of artwork, and they do a lot of bundles for
Oh,
sales.
yeah.
You can get 10 to 20 different products in a bundle that will save you hundreds of dollars. And most of their stuff, they started off, their stuff was only for the home crafter. You can only use commercial license if you made the product yourself. That commercial license was included in the price. And I hated it because we're all pod people here.
Mm-hmm.
And they had it explicitly in their license there, no pod. You cannot use merch. You cannot use Printful. They now have a pod license. Not on everything, but you can look at it and it will say their pod license. And it's usually an extra $5 or $10. And then you can use it on pod. And not everyone has jumped on that yet. So I hate to say it because I do it. But you 37 people watching now can jump on that. A lot of those designs are not up on merch or any other pod, and a lot of them are great designs. So, and they're cheap. Oh, I'm going to say they're cheap, and you can get it. Thanks, Nick. Look, and if you follow them on Facebook, they advertise these bundles, so you can get all these artist stuff that normally would cost you $200, $300 separately. You can get it as a bundle for $19.99, and it's a great deal.
Wow.
So before we go on, for people that are new, that don't know what sublimation is, I wanted to find that. But then also, is there a place that you can create a sublimated design without knowing like Photoshop or Illustrator or that kind of thing?
Well, the design is the same method you would do an Illustrator. It's how you go from there. You need a printer that prints a special ink on a special paper. They're cheap now. They've come down. You can get one for around $300, but it's a small one, like almost like your copy paper one. But that's all you need for T-shirt or. But if you don't want that printer, there are services out there that will print. I have one near me, and she ships, so I'll give her a plug. It's called what is it? Cuts, CUTZ, vinyl and craftsupplies.com. But it's kind of long there. But they have their own designs, and they'll print them for you and send them to you. And then you can. What sublimation is the special paper. It allows you to print your design instead of using a heat transfer vinyl or something like. So you can print it, and then you can use a heat press to put it on a shirt. You can put it on bottles, but it has to be a special kind of bottle. It has to, because it only goes on polyester-based materials. So you can't do it on a Yeti. You have to buy a special tumbler. I buy mine stuff from a company called Save a Cup. It's a white tumbler, and it's the coating is a special polyester thing that will take. And what it does, I think I have one. The gas, it pushes the ink into a gas form onto your product. So
I was thinking. So go ahead.
Oh, and you can get all sorts of blanks to put them on. There's wood products you can purchase that will press into heat.
What I meant more was like on Printful, Redbubble, where you can make a sublimated. Let's say I want to have a bag that's got sublimation. You know, where it's got the. Am I thinking of the wrong word? Where it's like printed all over the design.
That's all over print. Sublimation is the process of taking your print on and printing on a special paper with the inks, and then like for a tumbler, you wrap it around, and then you can actually use an oven to heat it up, and that process, oven or a lot of people use little toaster ovens. They put it in there, 400 degrees for a few minutes, and you take it out. Careful, it's hot. And then after it cools off, just take the paper off, and your design is now on the product.
I think that's what this is.
Different. My question was, if I wanted to do an all-over print, which I thought was called sublimation, if I wanted to do like an all-over print shirt, like say that they have on Printful or Redbubble,
it probably is. They're probably using a sublimation process on that.
Yeah,
onto the fabric before
the repeating pattern is basically what I'm after. Like, how would I? You know what I mean?
You have to do that in Illustrator.
You can do it in Illustrator.
I don't know how to do Illustrator. I know how to do it, but if I didn't know how to do it,
you could also do it in Canva.
Okay.
You could also do it in Canva, in kind of the same way that people will do pop socket designs. You can do it that way as well. You just have to make sure that when you're going in, like for instance, some of the full sublimation dresses on Printful, you can just kind of go in and look and see the different panels, and you're just designing according to them. And it's more is I have to give a shout out because she is in the audience. Morgaine TV on Instagram. She just for her brand, she just did shoes. They're like the full sublimation, like the all over print shoes. And I mean it looks amazing,
Do they
right?
have them on Printful?
No, she used interest print was who she used, which was new, and I was like, I don't know, because every time you turn up, there's a new fulfillment service. But no, she used them, and I thought that was interesting. So when I went to the website and I started looking through them, I was like, wow, they have a lot of the same things. They have the full sublimation skater dresses, the more fitted dresses, a lot of those things like that. So the simplest one that you can use would be Canva to do so.
Okay.
Yes, your shoes are extra cool.
I'm like, I got some funky shoes. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, sublimation is just the process of putting your design on the product.
Right.
And the price has come down with the printers now that all your DIYers and people that want to sell them on Etsy and whatever are doing them. And like I said, I was about to jump on the train, but if you go to that designbundles.net, Tumblrs are the big thing right now with the DIYers. But Tumblr, let me see if I have one real quick.
There's so much room in his office.
This would be this Tumblr, the size, but for sublimation, it'd be white and it's coated with a special polyester coating. And when they do is take the design and wrap it all the way around the paper and stick it in the oven. Or if they now are starting to make attachments to your heat press, they have a clamp that will do it. And that's, I saw a couple of people are selling those. That's a big thing right now. And if you look at design bundles, you'll see a lot of Tumblr designs on there. I mean, a lot, and they're cool. I want some for myself, and I want to sell them, but I don't want to do the work. So I'm waiting for Printful to start these.
Yeah,
Printful right now has this design, and so your design will go that high. You'll still have the white up here, so you can do an all over, and it's a sublimation process, but it will go wrap all around. So I loaded one to my website and one to eBay. Nothing's happened. I just need time. I might start putting more designs up, but you just got, when you do it for these on Printful, you got to remember it's only going to be this part. So if you buy it on Design Bundles, it's made for the 20-ounce tumblers, and you can probably adapt it to make it work in that section.
I'm on designbundles.net right now, salivating.
Oh, you're looking at a lot of designs.
That's right. And they have a service. They have a premium service that you pay a monthly fee that you'll get stars or whatever that you can use towards premium only products that you can only buy if you're a member of that monthly service, which I'm debating doing that monthly service, because if I start doing more, if I have time to do more pod stuff. Right now I'm spending a lot of time in my workshop and in here doing my other stuff. That's why my pod has been neglected.
Can I tell y'all one thing that has worked for me this year, with almost every holiday? Gnomes. I don't know why gnomes are so big. I don't know. I never took the time to figure it out why they just all of a sudden got so big. But no. I am terrible with Valentine sales, and the ones that sold, there were two types of designs that sold for me for Valentine's this year, and that was the ones with masks and gnomes. Same thing for Easter. Same thing. Sorry, that's the one thing I got. It's a cheat sheet. I don't know why, but So,
I use design bundles for that. There's hundreds and thousands of gnomes on there.
Well, damn. So what I will say is, why don't you try niching down and getting some of the lesser known holidays or the lesser celebrated holidays that don't have as many shirts up, and then try gnomes with that. Just kind of cross niche it with it.
Can you import onto the GoDaddy, the studio, images or designs that you've got to work with?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime I purchase any type of designs or any type of different illustrations, I just put it onto my Google Drive, download it to my phone, and then it's right there. Like this is why my phone is almost full and I've got 256 gigs. But but yeah, I absolutely do that. And you just attach it like any other picture and it's good to go.
And another big thing with gnomes, not really pod related, because a local crafter here that sells laser cut stuff like I do, gnome crafting kits. You know, gnomes that you have arms that you replace the seasonal theme that he's holding, like a pumpkin or a candy cane or gnomes. Like you said, I see it everywhere, and I'm trying to jump on that gnome train.
People have spent too much time at home smoking weed during this pandemic, is all I gotta say.
Hey,
so,
I'm right.
Gnomes with weed.
Sitting on their back patio, seeing gnomes.
Right.
Yeah.
Gnomes with weed. There it is. That's the 2022 niche.
You heard it here first.
But just the point I was trying to get out there, that was pods is not just t-shirts.
Right.
Even with Redbubble Spring, and especially at Printful, they're coming out with new products every day to put your designs on. I try to put my designs on all the products that look like it will work. You know, I just did that. The design I had was for leggings. It was just middle fingers, all little fists with middle fingers all over the leggings. I had that already, the design. So when I saw Spring had bucket hats, I had to throw it on a bucket hat today. And
that's fun.
It fit.
Yeah.
So
you bring up a really good point on that, Jeff, because I was reading a study. I talked about it a little earlier in the year. One of the sites that is kind of on folks' watch list, ironically, is Cafe Press. And
still around?
Because they're one of the only ones out there right now offering print on demand license plates, which you can see the demand for those has started to go up a bit. And I remember, like, I don't know about it now, but I remember no, like the place. Like if you are, like, obviously if you're like somewhere in New York, you have to have your actual license plate on both the front and the back.
But for the states where you gotta have it on both sides.
Got it. So but like in Mississippi, you don't. In Georgia, you don't. Alabama, you don't. A lot of states you don't. And so people will have a personalized license plate on the front, and then whatever their issued license plate is on the back. When I was a kid, everybody was going and getting the air sprayed ones. Like they go to the mall and they get an air spray, and now a lot of people are getting the print on demand ones. So I was like, okay, I have not touched Cafe Press since like 2005. So let me just keep my eye on it and just throw a few up there and just see how it works out.
There's another site for me. I haven't touched that site. I used it for my photography days, doing calendars and stuff, which I'm really sad that Redbubble got rid of their calendars, because that was a big seller for me every December. But yeah, I'm going to have to go back and look at Cafe Press now.
Are those air spray things coming back? Because a girlfriend of mine was asking about making shirts. Like they were going to have some girls' weekend, and they all wanted to have matching shirts. And she was like, they wanted to have all of the, she's like, nice looking, like air sprayed shirts. I was like, one, do they make nice looking ones? Two, I have no idea where you would get that nowadays. But they were.
I think I know merch and even Print will give you a warning if they detect a gradient, like an airbrush gradients. They give you a warning because they don't always print out very well. I haven't had any complaints on the ones I have up, but they do give you a warning on the gradients.
Yeah,
I wonder if
it's
that's
kind of hit or
coming back.
miss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it depends on what it actually is. I would, if you have money, I'd get a sample before you actually publish it to make sure. Because, like Nick said, it's a hit and miss. Some will look good, some won't, and it may be up to the different printers. Maybe Amazon's look bad and Printful's look fine. They may use different machines.
Or the particular product. I had three samples come in from Printful, all the same logo, 3 different colors. I was like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah, it could be the color of the background shirt, or it could be actually the product brand itself, a Bella Canvas versus a Gildan. I've heard things like that. Somebody was saying back to sublimation printing that some of the Bella canvases don't work well with sublimation. So you gotta make sure it has a high percentage or at least 50-50 percentage of polyester for sublimation if you're gonna do it yourself.
Gotcha.
Somebody asked that question about t-shirts recommended for it. You just has to have a percentage of polyester. The higher percentage, the better.
Yeah. Well,
that's a big thing right now.
We've gone a long time.
Almost 2 hours.
That was 2 hours. That's crazy. Do y'all have anything else y'all want to throw out there before we wrap it up?
Just start.
Yeah.
I say it all the time. Press the go button. This is an amazing opportunity. Whether it's Amazon, whether it's Etsy, I know people who still make a ton of money on Zazzle. The opportunity is there. You just have to take it. Research. Build out a niche. I'm involved in a lot of different niches right now, but even I'm starting to shrink down on it a bit. Just get in, see what works for you, and whatever's working, keep doing it.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it.
If you see stuff selling, like I hardly ever go in and look at mine. I was looking to see what sold today so I could see what's been selling lately and just kind of make more of the same, kind of like that, if I was really going to work at it. Yeah.
I thought I had a sale today. They hit refresh. Sometimes Productor needs a refresh. There it is. One sale, one return.
One sale, one return. Oh.
Yeah. So it leaves me a profit of $1.28 today.
Well, at least it's a profit. Usually, if I have one of those days, it's like negative $2.36. Like you mother.
Yeah, it's just like I said, with the loss of that one design, I'm at last month was $467 compared to $700 the month before.
And it's definitely one of those, you get out of it what you put into it, for sure. I'm really glad that before I started homeschooling my kids, I would bust my tail every day trying to remember you could do like 400 designs a day before we and you had to do each separate one. And I would sit for hours and just upload. And it's really paid off in these months when I don't have that kind of time, that I can still get some profit off of that, so it's really been, now I don't count on it because I don't budget it in, because one month it could be 600, the next month it's 200, but it's always something, right?
Well, I count it into my, I don't budget, but I count it into my monthly income, that I have a goal that I have an Excel sheet where I put every marketplace, and I need to have $150 a day in sales or more, and it even turns yellow or red, as it goes down. And I count that in, but I agree with you. You get it, what you put into it. So you need to start. And we're all in the same boat. I just let everything float out there without putting anything into it. And I'm still making money, but like when Nick turned me on to Productor last time we spoke, and I realized I can upload to all these different marketplaces with one single or a couple clicks, I went through and I spent each evening doing a couple up to my limit. That was back when I had an upload limit of 100 or 200, whatever it was. Right. And I would max out every single night. And in turn, sales picked up. I started getting sales from all the different marketplaces, France, Japan, and all that. So and I haven't done anything since that period, and things have slowed down. And Redbubble and Spring, I haven't touched. I really don't know what to do with those except for load products. I don't really know how to increase sales there. Yeah, I need to do a podcast on that, Nick, so I can watch it and listen to it on my walks. And
I need that spreadsheet, especially since I started doing merch stores for other groups. I need that spreadsheet, man. Like, you sell that thing.
Yeah.
I used to do that. I had a spreadsheet for eBay inventory and tracks all my eBay and Amazon sales and inventory and everything. That I still have it up on my website, my multiple streams website that sells for $15, and I still get sales from that. So yeah, I probably should. It's just a small tracking sheet, and I have the data going back 3 years. I can go back and see what I made each month. Not precisely, but ballpark.
Yeah.
All the sales. I just go every morning. I go to each platform and copy the sales from the previous day into the spreadsheet. And a couple other ones I can mention out there: Bonanza.com and TrueGether.com. They link to your eBay. So, I mean, they have paid ones that help you with Google Store and all that. But the free version syncs to your eBay. So anything you load up to eBay through Printful goes to those platforms as well. So it's a passive source of income. And I don't get a lot. I get a few sales on each month, but it's money.
It's worth it, right?
Yeah. And you don't have to do anything. Every time you load to eBay, it loads to those two. Yeah, that's it. But like Nick and Margaret said, got to start, and you got to put a little bit of effort into it every day.
Yeah.
Or every other week.
Well, I have y'all's YouTube links down below. I'll have to make sure I have the Instagram down in the description box after this. I don't know if I do or not. Okay. I'm glad we got to hang out and talk.
Yeah. Well, that's what we were saying when you stepped out. I was like, I miss doing this. And no matter how great a video, I can make a video and I think that I've absolutely killed it. And everybody's like, that is wonderful. Hey, when's Merch Talk coming back? So like, I'm like, okay, yeah.
We keep trying.
Clearly you're not entertained.
I mean, it's nice. Like, it's a good motivation. I mean, I always enjoyed it. It's just, it's been hard for us to get a.
And I actually learn things myself each time we talk like this. Like I didn't know I wasn't following Nick on Instagram, so I corrected that. And I'm gonna watch his little goal videos maybe on my walks.
I think it's a good idea.
I'll watch that every day.
I'm getting ready to drop one in about 30 minutes.
And I've got to go find the video where I called the chat. Put it up on my Instagram. I shared it a while back. I don't know if I shared it with y'all or somebody else, but it makes me laugh every time. So I'll go share that. Okay. Ready to say bye?
Any last questions in the chat? Nope.
I don't think so. Everything we kind of already answered. Yeah.
Okay,
we'll have to try again to get Chris and Joe up here because it's just, I love you guys, but it's not the same.
Yeah, we gotta have pizza Wi-Fi and ghost kids. It's gotta be all. It's the whole thing.
Yes, we need it all. Okay, cool. Well, thanks everybody for coming to hang out, and we will let you know if we're gonna bring it back and when and all that fun stuff. I hope y'all have a great evening. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.